Hello, everybody.
Bingo wings.
The bingo wings. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind of a Madness podcast. Episode God knows what at this point. But yes, I'm welcomed, of course, with the wonderful Sean. There he is.
Welcome, everyone. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yes. We're back. Little bit longer. It's been about 3 weeks. It's been a busy week for myself last week, so it got put off a little bit. That's my fault. But yeah, we're here. We're ready to talk about stuff.
Yeah, we are here. Everyone's been. It's been that weird period getting over the festive break, so everyone's trying to get back into the swing of things.
Depression.
Depression. Yeah, I've not been too bad this year, so that's one light relief.
That's one good relief. But yeah.
Global warming. It is now sunnier in January, so everyone's happier.
Exactly. But yeah, how have you been doing this year so far, good sir? I mean, we are 20 days in. It's fucking crazy to say that, but we are 20 days into the new year already. So how's it been going?
Yeah, this year's been going all right. Been keeping busy and lots of nice, kind of making some plans and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been dealing with TVs and stuff, trying to get new ones and sending old ones. Well, that was like last year's thing, but I seem to be happy with the one I've got now, so that's good. Some upgrades, trying to upgrade some equipment as well.
Finally.
So that should be nice.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, how's your year so far?
Busy. It's the only way I can describe it. It's just busy.
Yeah.
So, but it's been good. I've had a good year so far, and I'm enjoying it still. It's still going well. Yeah. I just kind of missed the podcast, because that's the only thing I haven't stayed on top of now. So I'm like, ooh. But
we're only like a little bit behind, so I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Nah.
I know we're not really behind either. It's kind of as and when, roughly every 2 weeks.
This is our podcast, and we'll do it when we want to.
Yeah. No expectations here.
Yeah, exactly.
Our 4 viewers will understand that.
The 4 people that watch, thank you. May Jesus bless you. But yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I've started a new series on YouTube, which has been fun to do. I've got 2 episodes.
All
around that platinum. I've got 2 episodes in the works now. I got Saw the Game and Ghost of Tsushima. I finally finished, so I'll be doing videos on them. I started editing for another streamer, which is fun. So now I'm actually getting a little bit of extra money. So, yeah. And then obviously we got this. But yeah, no, it's been really good. One thing I wanted to do this year was to make sure that I kept myself busy and doing what I wanted to do. Last year, I fell into a very bad habit of trying to please everyone again. And as lovely as sentiment as that is, it's not fucking possible. So...
Yeah. You can't please everyone all the time. You can please a few people some of the time.
Exactly, yeah. So, I'm just focusing on being happy with myself.
Yeah.
And that's been
doing
good.
Kind of nice, enjoyable things. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We don't consider this to be like work.
No.
It's just a nice thing.
It's nice to chill, sit down with my mate, and I get to chat about some shit and laugh and joke.
We get to talk about under normal circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, normally we're just playing.
Our very own chat show.
This is technically our show. Oh my god, this show is going to be 3 years old this year as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What a milestone.
What a master. But yeah.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely exquisite. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we jump right into it?
Absolutely. Let us jump into the news.
Mind over madness, fluttery.
Madness is what fucking happens when you think of the news. It's just
news. Where shall we start?
It's quite a bit to get through, I believe. So
shall we start with Prince Harry's book that came out?
Prince Harry's book.
So obviously, he brought out a book. It's called Spare. It's kind of one of the best sellers since Harry Potter. I think it was like, because everyone's so interested in what goes on behind closed doors, and they want Harry's side of the story. But
yeah,
it's kind of Harry's side of the story because you won't get the other side of the story because the royal family can't comment on anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's brought out this book filled with kind of revelations and all the interviews that go along with the book, where he's claimed to have killed like 25 Taliban and stuff. That's like no go in the army kind of thing. You don't boast about.
Yeah, you don't boast about numbers.
He's also said Prince William pushed him over and like trying to paint a narrative that he's like aggressive kind of thing.
Yeah.
How he's like bullied and yeah, obviously it's tragically not being able to get past his like mother's death and stuff, which is that's understandable.
That I can understand that bit. Yeah. That bit is fine. But stop being a little bitch.
Yeah, just generally whining and stuff, and he didn't get the right palace to stay in at Windsor or wherever Sandringham.
You're not even a fucking
he had to
prince.
stay in the cottage, not in the real palace. So he was so ashamed to bring Meghan there.
Fucking
£3 million cottage.
He's a fucking dick.
Yeah, he got his head shaved in school, and that it really traumatized him, and made him have mental issues the rest of his life. William used to get bigger portions of food than him, or something. He got the better room. He got the better bed in the room. So that was really unfair. It's just whinging.
It just sounds like a. This also kind of leads on to something else we can talk about as well in the news part. But I gotta be honest, all he's fucking done is complain like a little bitch. And I'm sorry, he's not Prince Harry anymore. He isn't. He got stripped.
The whole racism claims as well.
He got stripped of his title. I don't know if people are aware of this because they're not paying attention, but it's like he's not a prince, so fuck him. When he comes here, he can pay for a travel lodge. Simple as that.
I wish he did get stripped of his title. I see he does still have prince.
Can be still technically, yes, he's still a prince, but
not a working royal.
No,
and I can't have like HRH.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It just seems so fucking pathetic. It's like they're just basically trying to throw anything out that they can to get as much media attention as they can, so that they can keep this like fame going. Because the only way they're making money is fame.
Yeah, it's basically their job now. Just you've got to try and dredge up all these like uninteresting things, which most of us would consider to be normal day-to-day life. Everyone's always had these sibling rivalries and all this.
Yeah.
But making it a big issue so that he can, because it's royal and he's a prince, he can sell all these stories to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
I think most people wouldn't disagree with the fact that he's allowed to speak out, he's allowed to say what he wants, of course.
Of course
but when the money is involved and it's merely not like 50 quid for an interview, it's millions and millions, and books and all this, and just trashing his family who he knows can't reply.
And I think
you can't really trash your family in public.
I don't know. It seems like he's gone down a very dark path ever since he got with Meghan Markle. Not saying, they're not happy. If they're happy, whatever, live their lives. Yeah, but I mean,
he's happy. So.
I mean, it's how defensive people are of them as well. It drives me up the fucking wall. And this leads on to what is connected to Harry and to Meghan is obviously Jeremy Clarkson now has been dropped by Amazon. Because of one fucking column he wrote. How about this? How about stop reading bad stuff about yourself, Meghan, and actually go off and get some fucking help so you're not such a bitch? Oh, am I going to get banned off YouTube for saying that? Fuck off. Free speech. Simple as that. And I get people are going, well, what he said was like, it wasn't just like an insult towards her. It was like he was detailing he hates her on a molecular level. Yeah, that's his opinion of her. Why have people become such snowflakes?
I think the kind of thing that flipped it over the edge was the fact that he was kind of inciting violence or whatever towards her because of the whole throwing excrement at her. But he was obviously referencing Game of Thrones and stuff like that. But it's just his way of being, dramatic. Bombastic,
it's generally isn't it? Like, I'm not saying you should be able to say absolutely anything, right? Of course, there have to be lines and stuff. But I mean, I don't really think he said anything that was that outlandish. No. And I mean, the fact that he's been like Amazon are now cutting ties with him, just to me, just sounds like an excuse. Like they couldn't be asked to fund Grand Tour or Clarkson's Farm anymore. It just sounds like that. Although, as far as I have seen, and again, I'm not saying this isn't true, but I haven't seen Amazon comment on this.
No,
at all.
I don't know.
It's all
if
rumours.
Been axed, but maybe there's just rumours. Yeah.
And the ITV came forward, obviously, because How to Be a Millionaire. He's obviously the host of it. They came forward and said, "No, we're not unpartnering with him. He's staying here. Of course, we don't agree with what he said, but he has every right to say what he wants. That's free speech."
Exactly.
And this is what I think people are forgetting now. It's like, oh, well, that offended me. Did it? Boo fucking who? Move on. Don't look at it again then. Like, why on earth?
Ironic, isn't it?
And how can Meghan and Harry say all this shit about their family, but they don't get any shit for it? They get to keep their Netflix show and, you know.
Harry is seeking forgiveness from it, but like they want the family to forgive them, but they're not willing to forgive Clarkson.
Forgive them.
Interesting.
What a joke.
Victim.
After everything they did, basically accusing someone who was friends with the royals as a racist, accusing the royals of racism, like, you know, alright, I have my own opinions on the royals and stuff, but I mean, you can't just be like, hey, this guy's an asshole because he said he hates me on a molecular level, and he said I should have poo thrown at me, but then turn and go, but all the royal family, you know, basically the people that, you know, if you look at the UK, you think of the royals, they're all racist pieces of shit that don't matter, and they hate us, and they treated Harry terribly, but we're allowed to say that. It's like, no, fuck off. You can't have
like the latest interviews, he said that, oh yeah, we didn't actually insinuate that they were racist. So he's kind of dropped that bombshell, and now he's retracted it, you know, weeks later.
Yeah, because he's run away from it.
Everyone's saying, oh, well, he's not the brightest thing in the
He fucking
train.
isn't. And I think this is the thing, I don't think Harry is the one that's instigating it. Now, I'm not saying that Meghan hasn't suffered and probably had a huge change in her life. I mean, marrying a royal it's a job. It's not just in marrying the person you love.
Yeah.
And I get that can be very stressful, and maybe she wanted to get out of there, and that's perfectly fine and understandable, but you cannot just bash one side and expect nothing in return.
I know, it's kind of like they've got free access to just kind of flog and like get the cash. It's like a piñata, continually beating it to get the cash out of it. And it won't respond in any way because they can't. Which is a bit of a shame, isn't it?
I think it's just a bit childish, really, isn't it? It's like name calling. And I mean, look,
at the end of the day, how much more stuff does he have to, give us?
Yeah, I mean,
he's got another 3 books planned or something, so Meghan's going to do the next one.
So I have 3 books planned. He's not writing them.
William had 4 fish fingers and I had 3. It was absolutely traumatizing.
Yeah, it's just so fucking stupid. It's like, do you know what? I understand that. I can imagine that Harry and William's childhood was probably very different to ours. Right, I get that. I can accept that. Maybe it was more stressful. Maybe there was more to it. I can get that. You are literally listing off things that happens between siblings. It's like, you had a bigger room. You got 1 fish finger more than me. It's like so stupid. And it's just like, do you know what? Why are we focusing on this pillock? Just let him do his thing. If he wants to release his books, cool. Let him release his books. Whatever. His fans will follow him. Meghan wants to say Jeremy Clarkson's an arsehole. He's never denied that. Like, he is an arsehole. He's never not been one. But I just don't think it's fair that he may be losing everything because of a fucking column he wrote. It's just so stupid. It's like, hey, you should be allowed to speak your mind without the worry of losing everything. The fuck happened?
I'm kind of not even a massive fan of him even like groveling and trying to apologise. Just don't even do that.
It's like, do you know what? Own it. Yeah, exactly. You said what you said, and I understand maybe apologising.
Of course, the way he said it was wrong.
Yeah, look, I don't mind him coming forward and apologising for it, but it's like at least like he never used to be like that. And I get that times have changed, right? You can't just say whatever you want and get away with it. There have to be repercussions. I get that, but I mean, look, I'm sure a lot of people read that Sun column and agreed
with it.
But everyone now has turned on him and gone, oh no, he can't say that. It's like, oh fuck off. We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
We were all thinking it.
It's like one person has to get thrown to the wall. It's satisfy the pack.
It's just, I don't know. To me, it all seems like one big clusterfuck, especially around Harry and Meghan. It's why I just don't pay attention to them anymore. Because it's just.
Yeah. Well, they want privacy, but they
want privacy.
Paid for selling other stories and shit. So.
Want privacy, goes on Netflix, has series. makes books.
Normally
does
these things
interviews.
bubble out in about 7 days, so like hopefully this is the last we'll hear about it for a while.
I hope so.
And then they can focus on themselves, and we can focus on more important issues.
Yeah.
But speaking of people thrown to the wolves,
oh, this should be good.
I don't know if you would.
I think I know.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about this next, but
Alec Baldwin.
Yes, Alec Baldwin.
Yes, Alec Baldwin, and I believe it was the weapons safety expert or something. I believe. I'm not so sure. Yeah, the armourer on set have apparently going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter. Can I be honest? Can I be frank? I think Alec Baldwin does have some responsibility. He was the producer. He was holding the gun. You should always check the firearms before doing anything anyway, and whatnot. So I think there is a part of responsibility on him, yes. Involuntary manslaughter, I guess, if you're going to be convicted, I guess that's the one that makes the most sense. Murder, but not by intention and with a deadly weapon, I guess. But the armourer and all the people behind the scenes are the ones that should be getting prosecuted more. I can't understand why it's just these two.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Is it the actor's job to check all these things and like be a weapons expert? No, they're obviously being told they get a cold gun, cold prop, and that's what they have to believe, because it's just a tragic accident and all accounts, isn't it? Because there's a multi stages of failure in all parts of it. Apparently there was a weapon target practice.
Yeah, they were shooting actual live bullets on set, which I do think is stupid. You're making
that's
a
film. Failure. And it's just one of these days it's bound to happen, wasn't it? With all these kind of lax safety precautions, but I don't know how they get that lax when the amount of risk assessments and insurance that they have to pay out and stuff.
Hollywood.
Maybe it all kind of just it was bubbling for years before this.
Yeah.
And this is the straw that broke the camel's back, as it were.
Yep.
But as far as is it Alec Baldwin's fault? I don't think so, but it's just where does the dart land on the board? To blame someone, isn't it? I think the family will want justice.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's absolutely right that they should have justice. I do think it was a horrible accident. I don't think anyone behind the scenes intentionally loaded a bullet into it or anything. I think it was a fucking horrifying accident. It wasn't meant to happen. But I honestly don't think a lot of the blame falls. A lot of people, I'm surprised actually, a lot of people have been saying, no, it is Alec Baldwin's fault. He should have checked the gun and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, he's not a fucking weapons expert, you dumbass. He's an actor. He doesn't actually fire guns. However, I will say this much. For the gun to have actually fired, the trigger had to be pulled. Now, what they tell actors on set, apparently, is do not pull the trigger no matter what. That gets added in post. Right? Unless the scene is specifically designed to do that, do not pull the trigger. Apparently this was not the scene he was meant to pull the trigger, and he did pull the trigger. So that is a fault of his.
Yeah, I think one thing he is guilty of is being extremely kind of strange directly after it happens, and he was he went on a campaign of, I didn't pull the trigger, it wasn't me, I had nothing to do with it, it wasn't my fault. And that kind of throws him in a negative light, and then apparently days after he's posted pictures online of tasteless pictures of Halloween parties and stuff. Hey, look how much fun we're having.
That's not a great look.
And his interviews, which went down like a car crash, where he's denying everything. It's no, well, clearly someone pulled the trigger. You were holding the gun.
You were holding the gun, so of course you pulled the trigger.
Own it, and then obviously it was an accident. We can all see that, but don't be all tasteless about it. He didn't do himself any favors with that kind of campaign afterwards.
No, he definitely came across like he didn't really care as much
guilt.
as he should have. Yeah, he didn't really give a shit, basically. That's how it came across. And I think the problem is, as well, is that I think this is an important lesson for actors, is when you're on set and you're handling maybe weaponry or something, how about before you even look at the fucking weapon, go and educate yourself on them. Why you're not meant to pull the trigger, how big's the magazine, how to check the magazine to make sure that it's not loaded, how to check the chamber safely to make sure there's not something inside it that could hurt your co-star. These things are things that should be in place anyway. Weapons training should happen regardless of whether or not you're firing a real life firearm on a set to make a series or a film. Christ, perfect example, Keanu Reeves, he went off and did months of weapons training before doing John Wick. Not just to portray the weapons accurately in the film, but for safety. So he felt how it a weapon when it was loaded. He felt how it felt to shoot it, so he could tell the difference between a blank and not a blank. Like, that's an actor that gives a fuck. And I think with Alec Baldwin, I've got to be honest, I think the set for Rust clearly wasn't under safety precautions careful enough.
Regulations.
And I think
ticking boxes.
Yeah, and I don't think he clearly wasn't paying attention. He was just like, another day on set, I'll film my lines, go home, blah blah blah. And I think, you know, he probably did. They probably did have. I would hope that they had some sort of safety talk or whatever handling weaponry, but they probably didn't. Let's be real. He probably thought, oh, it's been called cold, so there's clearly nothing in it. Pulled the fucking trigger and there. So yeah, I can see that responsibility on him. But the people who load the weapons, who were firing live ammunition on set, those people need to be punished too, because that's not fucking normal.
So he's going to get like jail time now and like 16 months or something.
So I think him and the armourer that are being convicted, if they get convicted of involuntary manslaughter, there is up to a 5-year prison sentence. But let's be real, it's unlikely Alec Baldwin is going to see the inside of a cell.
I think the other guy, I don't know if it was the armourer or like a co-producer or something, that he's
female.
Like pled guilty straight away.
Yeah,
she pled guilty.
He pled guilty, and she hasn't pled guilty, and that's why she and Alec are going up, because they've pled. I believe they pled not guilty. So,
right.
But yeah, the guy, the actual guy who was working on set, one of them has pleaded guilty immediately. He was like, no, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Obviously, they must feel some responsibility there, which is, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I think it's a bit. I think it's an important lesson, and I hope it's a lesson that gets learned from now on. Obviously, when it happened, I remember last year when we talked about it, when it happened, a lot of studios and actors did say from now on they'll be working with plastic or rubber weapons to avoid this happening. But, I mean, I don't think a lot of actors are going to stick to that. Something tells me that their brains won't want it. Oh, we want it to be as real as possible. You know, it's like, it's a fucking show. It's not meant to be real.
Yeah, I know. It's like loads of things that should have been changed before, but they just haven't. And budget reasons, all kinds of different reasons that they just use like fake bullets and stuff. Yeah. Excuse me.
Again, I think it's just a safety, man, as well. It's like just common sense. Don't fucking... Even if you are on a set, do not point a gun at someone, even if they're behind the camera and you're meant to look at the camera. Have the camera set up, no one behind the camera, and the actor holding the gun up to the camera. What's the worst that happens? The camera gets broken.
Yeah.
You don't lose a life like you have now.
Yeah. Alec Baldwin's like, thank you for this lesson.
It's like, it's just, I don't know, to me it just seems so fucking common sense. I thought that's how they did it. When an actor's pointing a gun at a camera, you don't have anyone behind it. Again, don't point a weapon at someone unless you intend to kill. It's literally gun...
really ever intend to kill someone with a gun anyway.
Gun knowledge 101. Don't point your gun at something unless you intend to kill it. Because even if it's not loaded, it could still kill. Perfect example.
There we go, folks.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Don't point your weapon at people.
Don't be pointing your gun at people unless you intend to give them a facial.
Unless you intend to shoot.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It seems like the most obvious shit, but it's so shocking how out of touch Hollywood has become now that this stuff happens.
We've like covered what lessons can be learned from it in previous months, but yes, Alec has been charged along with the other guy, and well, hopefully
we'll see.
This is the end of that saga, and
hopefully
it doesn't just drag on anywhere he's like trying to plead not guilty and all this.
And hopefully it never happens again. Because I think
the main thing,
to remember like the main thing of all of this, hold on, I'll get her name up now, because I think it's unfair that we don't talk about we don't talk about her.
Hutchins something.
Cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Yeah.
I hope I've said that name right, but yeah, I think that's the thing that should be focused on. A life was lost for no other reason other than incompetence. And
tragic accident.
A mother and a wife has now gone. So I think that's the thing to remember more than anything of this, is that this should be a lesson so this never happens again. And hopefully it will be.
That is the price of incompetence.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Ooh.
Lesson hopefully learned.
Hard lessons.
hard lessons that I'm sure, I'm sure, hopefully it'll be better going forward. But I'm not fully convinced.
Oh, excuse me.
But yes, any other news things I could...
So there was one news thing, I think it was about a week and a half ago I saw this, which was basically Rishi Sunak got asked, obviously because of the strikes and everything going on, he got asked if he used a private GP. Let's be honest, they all do, they're all stuck up their arseholes. And he basically just point blank refused to answer. And people were obviously going, oh, look how out of touch he is. It's like, oh, you're new here. Like, he said many times when he was younger, I don't hang around with common people. Like, that's literally something he said.
But it's kind of a thing where you're like, why would you even ask that question? He gets private. He's the Prime Minister. Of course, he'll have, like, medical stuff on hand in case there's anything wrong. Stupid. It's like asking a standard MP that and then find out the interesting question. But like, obviously he gets private care. Yeah. Because Boris got private care when he was had COVID. The best care. 2 nurses by his side, night and day. Oof. When you're lucky to get 1 nurse between about 15 of you.
I bet his wife was panicking on that fucking day. Boris around women.
Nurse, pass me the grapes.
Nurse, pass me the grapes. Ah, yes. I've got an itch. It's just down here. Do you mind? If you don't do it, I'll make you lose your job. Yeah. I'm not insinuating Boris Johnson got a blowy off a nurse by threatening to take a job away. I'm not suggesting that at all.
The nurse didn't want COVID, for God's sake.
But now it's in your mind, isn't it?
You dirty people.
You dirty bastards. But yeah.
Apparently his suggestion for I don't even know what this was for, but apparently all young people should study maths until they're 18 years old or something.
Why? Do you not agree with education, James? No, I do, but I think when you get to comprehensive in year 7, that's when you should pick your shit. I don't think
everyone needs to know the basics, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can account for their earnings and what have you. But when it comes to fractions and decimal bloody things and trigonometry and stuff like that,
I need algebra, right?
And algebra, who needs any of that?
I mean, unless you're being like an accountant or if you choose
even
to
then you won't fucking use algebra.
I don't know how much you're earning, so I'm just going to put JN5.
Let's see what e squared plus 2.
I don't know. Maybe this is showing our lack of education, but I mean, personally, I agree. I don't see...
I'm highly educated.
Fair point. I ain't. But I mean,
but in maths, no.
No, I mean, it's one of those things. I think when it comes to education, I think
I can work out what a sausage roll and a chocolate bar is. That's about all.
My maths improves like Freddo's rise in price. That's how mine goes. As time goes on, I just get better because I've learned as I live.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would ever be required to do things for showing off and stuff. Then but doing things in your mind as a business thing, then no, because it's so unpredictable. You use a calculator.
Calculator.
Or a computer to do it for you. You don't work out. When is the last time you went to a shop and they actually worked out how it's changed? Unless it's a market stall or something, then I guess they would just use a till.
Yeah, that lady who gave me fudge even had a cash register, so she didn't even need to work in.
She might as well just charge you £100 and
she's done with it. But
£1 a piece.
But it's I don't know. I think with education, there's the problem that is always going to be there, which is that how the fuck are kids meant to know what they want to do for their future?
And all the teachers are striking now, I think, for like a week at some point. So I'm sure that's going to affect their education.
Yeah, probably. I know that nurses and stuff like that are striking, and it's all going to shit in the UK.
1st of Feb, literally everyone in the world is striking.
It's going well in the UK. It's not burned down just yet, but it's getting there.
But that's a completely separate topic. I don't know if I can be bothered to get into it.
Yeah, the government shit can wait till next podcast.
Wait till they've kind of figured out a solution for it.
Yeah. I think it's still important to talk about it, but I mean, what do we add to it?
I think we have talked about it
this.
last week,
Yeah,
and we will cover it again. But at the moment, there's really not much else to say about it.
Yeah, it's just the same shit over and over otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shall we move on to a different section then?
Yes, let us move on to films and TV and
Let's talk
fun
about
stuff.
films.
Let's talk about films and stuff. So, yeah. What have you been watching, good sir? Anything good?
Well, I watched Barbarian on Disney. That was pretty good.
Oh,
Can't really remember too much on it. But it was very good. Good horror flick. A decent one. I'll recommend it to anyone who wants a kind of a Friday night thrill.
Friday night thrill. Oh, cheeky.
Yeah, I did watch Slender Man as well on Netflix, but it's one of those ones where you have it on in the background, and I think I already watched it before, and yeah. Not impressed by it.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's I remember
not a great video game adaptation, unlike something else.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a video game to start with anyway. It was a creepypasta that was made up and then went viral and became a thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Slender's real!" And it was like, "You fucking stupid children! Of course, it's not real."
Yeah. It would be better if they used more live action things when it came to Slender Man rather than having him animated a lot.
The animation wasn't good in that.
He wasn't scary at all.
No, and the animation was garbage in it as well, so it all looked like ass. And the horror jump scares, every time they tried to do a horror jump scare, just the face would just warp slightly. It just looks stupid.
I know, yeah.
But
Very cheap.
Yeah, I guess it's a nice time waster if you want that. So
the Scream 6 trailer dropped.
Oh, really? That's true. Yeah,
it's interesting that calling it Scream 6. Obviously, the last one was like just Scream again. So it's nice to see they've gone back to that. Yes, it was Scream 5, and we've gone. This one's Scream 6.
I think they probably did that to see the reaction to Scream 5, because if it wasn't very good, then it's like, oh, we'll reboot the series and probably go that.
They did always kind of have that little like V in all of the kind of promotional material, so they were like kind of covering their backs with it, which is good. But this one looks good. Ghostface looks savage as ever, using the guns now.
So it's so badass. I was like, oh, do you know what? I approve.
Yeah, it's nice to have it in like New York with lots of a different space and more kind of things going on in different settings, which did what this series needed a lot.
It did.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to see some returning characters.
Yep.
And
Cindy. And to be honest, I actually like the fact that they've sort of made him a bit more like not scared to just, oh, I'm only going to use my knife instead. I just love the part in the trailer where he just picks up the gun, blasts the guy on the floor, drops the gun, and goes, oh no, he didn't even drop the gun. He still has the gun, and then just turns around looking for them. It's just like, hello.
It is nice to get him more creative. But I mean, he can't lose his trademark knife. But
yeah,
it's
of course.
Nice one to do it.
But the fact that he still does the wipe and everything, and it's still looking. It looks very good. I have to be honest.
I'm thinking this is the film that the fans probably will really like, because it was a bit divided on the last one. Kind of people who are new to the franchise kind of enjoyed the last one, but long-time fans were like, it's a bit disappointing, but it's still it's still Scream, it's still alright.
But
this is the one where they're kind of going all out now, I think.
Yeah, I remember because we obviously watched the last one together after many attempts. And I enjoyed it for what it was, but I did think it was probably one of the weaker Scream films.
Very safe, very safe.
Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of the, I don't know, some of the kills, I feel like there was meant to be more gore in it, but they kind of, they sort of reverted on it a bit, and but they were still gruesome, but it was, I think they kind of went for more shock value in the last one, so I hope this one is more just like, no, it's just a killer that goes around killing people because he wants to kill. But we'll see.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's going to be good.
Fingers crossed indeed. But we've got the new Evil Dead as well. That trailer dropped. That trailer dropped not that long ago. What was it called? Evil Dead Rise, I believe.
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's been a while since we've had an Evil Dead, so 21st of April.
I liked the remake.
surprisingly enough, I enjoyed the remake. I thought it was okay, and as a massive fan of like the originals as well. Although the third one was kind of crap. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but a lot of people didn't. But yeah, I hope that
I think although people should go back and watch the original again because that is very wacky.
Yeah, the first one was really good, and what a lot of people as well, when you talk to them, don't realise is they rebooted it on the second one. It was the same film, just with a more over the top, crazy premise, I guess. But yeah,
definitely more kind of Hollywoody with the remake, but that's all right in some circumstances.
It's nice to see a lot of returning faces as well for the Evil Dead Rise. So, you know, if you look at the poster, obviously people didn't actually recognise her at first, but that's the woman out of the first remake. So it's like, oh god, she's evil now. It's like, well, yeah, gotta watch it. But yeah, I am a bit anxious about it, but hopefully, I mean, it's got, you know, Ash, obviously. Not his name's not actually Ash. Bruce Campbell.
Is Sam Raimi in any way attached to it?
I don't know. The director. Oh no, apparently Lee Cronin is directing it, but the executive producers are obviously Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell. You know, all kind of OGs of the.
If it's got their seal of approval, I'm quite confident that they'll be there.
They tend to hit the nail on the head when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. But they want to actually expand it further, apparently. So that's kind of what this is the start of. They want to make a universe of the Evil Dead.
Okay.
Which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, if you look at the third one and the second one, it does kind of go off into like another world in the third one, especially. So
yeah.
And then you've obviously got Ash versus Evil Dead.
Darkness,
yeah, and then you got Ash versus Evil Dead. That was a very good series. I enjoyed it.
Oh no, they can replicate that kind of stuff because it's all about Ash, really.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the disappointing thing. I think from the last remake to this one, obviously Ash had a bit of a cameo, as he does with all Evil Dead stuff. But he had a cameo in the end of the last one, saying "groovy," obviously, and the idea was that he was meant to be the groovy. He was meant to be the lead then in this one, but obviously too much time had passed. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll keep it going and do a good job of it. That's all I'm hopeful for.
Just need to temper their expectations. Hoping to make it into like more series and stuff because I think that
Evil Dead is easy. It's easy to make, hard to fuck up. So I hope they keep it on the right path. But yeah.
Anything else you've been watching this time?
Yeah, I watched Morbius finally.
Oh.
I'll be honest.
As bad as they say.
I didn't hate it, but I can see where people were complaining at it, right? So there's a lot of moments where you hear a lot of gruesome kind of gutsy sound effects that sound like gore, but there's nothing on screen. I think they were meant to make an R-rated film, panicked last second and backed out because they're pussies. Like Sony, you're pussies. But yeah, no, I didn't hate the film. I thought it was actually pretty good. A bit cringy at times. It's kind of the dancing by Matt Smith in it kind of reminded me of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire dancing.
Okay.
But I mean, he was a good villain. He was very good in it, and it also feels like the film was meant to be longer, despite the fact that it's a long film anyway. It felt like it was meant to be longer because there were parts where it sort of jumps quite significantly in the story, and you feel like they've missed some context and stuff. But yeah, I know. I wouldn't shit on it as much as everyone else has. I would give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's kind of average. It's like a good popcorn flick, but it could have been much better. And Jared Leto's performance wasn't terrible either. I think he was probably one of the best parts about it, other than Matt Smith, but I don't
know. It's kind of unfortunate it came such a meme and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they re-released it and it flopped again.
Double flopper.
It's Morbin time.
Yeah,
but
did they actually say that, or is that just like something someone?
That was just something that was made up so that it became
Morbin time. So it's like that's like flipped on.
There was obviously the "we are Venom" part, but. That was also edited in the trailer, so it's slightly different to how it looks in the film. But I mean, yeah, again, look, I didn't hate the film, but I can understand why people were disappointed because I was disappointed by it. definitely.
Yeah, people really wanted a dark kind of dark Marvel.
And I think this is something that Marvel need to start realising now, is stop trying to fucking make everything PG-13, start grabbing your balls, or your vaginas, whichever one you've got, and start going gutsy. Fucking go for that 18 rating, because guess what? Yeah. You're going to get more appreciation from something like Morbius if it's gruesome and horrifying and terrifying and scary, rather than a fucking vampire with his wings clipped.
I feel like the majority of people who watch these films have grown up with them and kind of just want to follow the fandom. They want more mature thing.
Yeah, and I think
I suppose the argument was made for kids want to watch it. So
tough shit.
Screw the kids.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's kind of like, look at Netflix's series that they did for Marvel, right? Before they obviously Marvel got them back. I mean, they're R-rated. I mean, technically some of them are 15 in the UK, but I mean, they're R-rated and they're fucking brilliant. They're probably the best depiction of Daredevil, Jessica Jones. I mean, Iron Fist is questionable. Luke Cage and the Punisher. Dear God, John Bernthal as the Punisher. What a fucking amazing performance.
I need to finish watching that.
It's so impressive, but that's because they went, no, fuck the PG-13. It needs to be 18. It's the Punisher. It's Daredevil. It's Jessica. Like, you know, they gave a fuck enough about the characters, and I think that's where they've gone wrong a lot of the time. So hopefully they'll rein that back in now when it comes to Phase 5. Because I'll be honest, Phase 4, I've barely watched anything in it because it's all shit.
DC have really capitalised on the kind of the darker humour and the kind of more kind of kick-ass style of superheroes.
That's something we can talk about.
Peacemaker. But yeah, I need to. Did I mention that?
Oh yeah, Peacemaker. Yeah, I still need to watch that.
Peacemaker. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I really recommend people watch that because
I mean,
I still haven't even seen the film, but the show is very good.
The Suicide Squad that was astonishingly good. It was so well done. But again,
if you're a fan of kick-ass and kind of crude superheroes, then The Boys, you'll love Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. But yeah, there's something we can talk about is James Gunn taking over the DC universe. He's pissed a lot of people off, but we'll get to that. I watched Glass Onion, kind of the sequel to Knives Out.
God, yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I'm pretty disappointed. I've watched it twice because the first time I watched it, I was like just enjoying it for what it was, and I think the second time I watched it, I was like, dear God, this is awful. This is really bad. Oh no, I thought I loved this film. It is absolute poo. I give it like a 3 out of 10 if I had to rate it. It's really poor. I
much preferred the last one.
I think what's definitely Knives Out 1 was much better. I think the sad thing about this is they kind of went the lazy route for detective stories, so they changed certain scenes. So, you know, for instance, when Dave Bautista's looking through the window and everything, they literally changed the scene behind him with Daniel Craig looking at him because there's another person. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything if people want to go watch it, but they obviously actually changed scenes to fit the narrative. Yeah. Even though she should have been there multiple times. So
it's like, this is how it actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt very boring and cheap. And especially the twist in the end, it was like, oh, really? Really? So, I was bitterly disappointed because Knives Out 1 was a really, really fantastic film. Campy as shit, but fantastic. But the second one definitely was very disappointing. Don't know what you thought of it.
It did feel very style over substance. It's like I was watching it, and it's just like all the very stylized shots, very colourful, very flamboyant characters on the screen. But I didn't give a shit about any of them. Even Daniel Craig, still don't.
I mean,
the accent and stuff.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
But once you get past that, even that is still not that interesting. Still probably the best thing about it, but not that interesting.
I mean, I love Knives Out. Knives Out was brilliant, fantastic. But Glass Onion is poo. It's like it's the stinky seconds that you get after ordering a takeaway. Then you get that curry, and that curry gives you diarrhea. And when you have that diarrhea has diarrhea. That's Glass Onion.
It's like they got all these like A-list actors together in like during COVID, and like let's all have a holiday and film it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bollocks. Which again, I think it's a shame. And it was fairly obvious as well who the bad guy was. It wasn't hard to work it out. Even I worked it out, and I'm like, God, I'm an idiot. So if I could work it out, but yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, the only whodunits I can get behind is Scream.
Scream is a classic. So yeah, Danganronpa season 1. myself and Shaggy watched that a while back. Really good, actually. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm looking forward to playing the games because the actual series are really funny and really enjoyable. Finished The Midnight Club. Another Netflix one.
Okay.
That one was actually really good. Do you know what? I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much because it's quite a slow start, but when it gets going, it's tasty.
Yeah.
It's really good. I would highly recommend that one because it made me cry. It made me cry.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was really, really good. And then this is a bit of a fucking change. Gudetama. I watched that on Netflix as well, and I love that series. Even though it's for children and it's about an egg. Beautiful.
Eggs are nice.
It's so beautiful. Oh, I have eggs too. I'll have eggs. We can both have eggs then. Egg. But yeah, that was a good series. I'd recommend that.
Yeah, shall we talk about the big one, I guess?
Go on then. I've got a couple more, but let's get this one. Let's go.
Sorry.
No. Let's get this one. I can't wait any longer. I can't. Last of Us. Let's go.
We'll talk about the Last of Us series. Obviously, the very first episode aired finally.
Yes.
On Monday. We watched it together, and we. Yes, it was a very enjoyable one. Really good adaptation,
Yeah.
I suppose.
I think I can happily say this is the best adaptation of any video game thing ever so far. Now, I know I'm saying that presumptuously, it's only the first episode, but if they keep this quality up, they're not going to have a problem. They'll be good.
Yeah.
They'll be solid.
I think, they've really nailed a lot of things in the series. I do care about all the characters in there. It's like, the story, they've not kind of changed it drastically.
Yeah.
There's a few little things they've changed, like, the way the virus works and stuff like that. But
which I understand that. I can get that.
It is very, very close to the source material, so far anyway.
There's a lot of scenes.
It's got potential to go off, but
Yeah.
It's great so far. It's so good.
There's a lot of scenes that you kind of where you see what they filmed and you go, fuck, I remember that in the game.
Yeah.
There's like
I'm trying to stay away from when I'm watching it saying,
yeah,
oh my god, that was in the game, that wasn't in the game, that was in the game, but it's because you're trying to focus on the merits of it, but you're also trying to appreciate what they have. I
think
the game.
It's about fucking time something got adapted and was fucking loyal.
Yeah.
And I hope the rest of the series is like this, because if it is, this is what needs to be used as an example to Netflix and Amazon and all these other fucking companies to be like, hey, you want to adapt something? Fucking this is how you do it.
Yeah. I'm kind of envious of the people who haven't played the game and don't know the story.
Yeah.
It's a different experience knowing every kind of story beat that happens.
Yeah.
Or kind of not knowing, because it'd be interesting to see the comparisons of people who have played the game and haven't, and what they think about it.
I think my mum saw a bit of the first game, but she hasn't seen a lot of it, so I'm going to watch this with her when it's all come out. So I'll be able to get kind of like a person who's not played the games and connected with the characters in the same way that maybe me and I, like you and I have. And then, it'll be interesting to see her experience, but my god, it's phenomenal. Obviously, Ellie looks a little bit different, but I think, to be honest, it's going to be very hard to get everyone looking identical. And I think she's done a good job so far. I think she's probably the weakest of the cast, but that's not saying much considering they are all brilliant. I do think they're all brilliant.
It's a bit of a curse having played the game and having connected with that Ellie in that game, because she seems so emotive, and you can really feel everything behind the eyes of what she's feeling and what I mentioned when I was watching it. But I've not got that fully. I'm not fully behind Bella Ramsey with the kind of Ellie portrayal just yet, but she's doing a cracking job. She's a great actress, of course.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we get into the part now where more stuff happens. So we'll see a bit.
Hopefully she'll get to kind of flex her acting muscles and really kind of get into that character and convince me that I was wrong from the first episode, that she may not be quite right. But
Pedro Pascal.
Joel as Joel, Pedro as Joel. I can fully get behind him.
Fantastic.
All you need to do is look at him.
Such a good performance as well. And it feels like as well these guys looked up, like they listened to Neil Druckmann on set and were like, oh okay, yeah, I get you. And it feels like they've actually paid attention and want to show the characters as they are instead of trying to make them their own, which I can appreciate. So But yeah, he's so good as Joel.
Yeah, and then we've got Tess and Thomas.
I can't. It's so hard to see Tess like Tess because of Fringe.
I know, yeah.
I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out, and I was like, God damn it! No, I can't see anything other than that.
It's nice to see her after all this time.
Yeah.
10 years. She has been in quite a few other things as well.
Yeah.
I need to watch, but I mean, Fringe is the baby.
Yeah,
Fringe is the bomb.
Which is we're also getting through at quite a tremendous speed now.
Yeah, we are. We've slowed down slightly.
Yeah.
But that is okay. We are taking our time. We don't want to rush it.
Don't want to rush it all out. My goodness.
Oh, my God. How many still need to get through? Lie to Me and Series of That.
Yeah, well, there's not much left of that. Lie to Me's almost finished. So
yeah.
we've got like 12 episodes, I think, left.
But yeah, Last of Us, we're looking for eagerly apprehensive about the next, but excited about the next few episodes.
Yeah. I'm very...
We'll give our opinions as we watch them.
It's the first time I've watched a series like this in ages, and I actually want to watch it like this.
I know, yeah. Every week. That's how they should, like, all be watched, as they come out. But it's so easy to binge things these days.
Yeah. It's quite difficult. Quite difficult indeed. But amazing.
But yeah, shall we move on to games then? On that kind of little segue.
Well, I've got...
you had some more films.
I've got 2 more films and then one more thing to talk about. But Escape Room 1 and 2, I watched both of them. They're kind of the newest Escape Room films that came out. And actually, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, campy as shit, terrible plots, and just ridiculous, over-the-top buildings that not anyone could build. But they were fun for what they were. I enjoyed them. Good horror films, so 5 out of 10, definitely average.
I agree.
James Gunn obviously taking over the DC universe, so I thought we'd have a quick chat about this since we mentioned it earlier as well. He's actually been accused of playing favourites, because obviously Henry Cavill is not coming back. Dwayne Johnson has also been booted, although that's not shocking after Black Adam. But he is keeping apparently John Cena, and I believe, who else was there? There was someone else as well, but yeah. As far as I'm aware, apparently he is keeping John Cena as Peacemaker, which I think is a good choice. Considering. But yeah, what's kind of our thoughts on some of the news that's coming out with James Gunn's DC and how he's kind of tackling it as far as taking it over and whatnot?
I'm just trying to research James Gunn's wife. Right, yeah, that's what James Gunn's wife is in Peacemaker. As well. So obviously, I kind of understand the whole favoritism kind of thing about it. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her as an actress, and she's quite cool. I didn't realise that it was his wife. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see what the kind of content comes out at first. If it is going to affect it in any way, because he's quite a decent kind of producer and director.
Guardians.
Yeah, he did Guardians. And,
he did Suicide
He knows
Squad.
the rhythm of movies and stuff.
He knows his shit.
So, I mean, maybe it's a good thing in disguise. Or I don't know.
I think people are just against something different, because obviously DC has been very much one thing for a while. So, and obviously when Suicide Squad came out, the second one, it was.
I feel like if I'd have known all this before I watched Peacemaker and stuff, like I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But I think when people actually watch the content, they will enjoy it and think, oh, who cares about stuff? Obviously, it's always been who you know rather than.
Yeah, exactly. I think, to be honest, it's gonna be a good one. I think he's gonna do a good job personally, but that's just me.
As long as it's entertaining.
Exactly.
That's all you can ask for.
Exactly. But yeah,
and he's not completely non-diverse and all this.
No, of course not. No, I mean, he's a very talented director, and he's proven that time and time again. So yeah.
It's not like he's coming in from nothing.
No, exactly. But yeah,
the fans need to just hush a second. Let him do his job for a bit.
Alrighty.
But yeah. Whenever you're ready to move on, we shall move on.
Games.
Games.
Yeah, let's talk about some games, shall we? What have we been playing? What have we been doing?
Well, I've recently been replaying Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm very much enjoying, because I did play it originally on. I had like an EA Play membership or something for a month, and I just kind of rushed through it. But I didn't really get to explore around and do stuff, so I'm kind of enjoying taking my time in New Game Plus and exploring and stuff here. So I'm really enjoying the game. I do love it. Combat takes a little bit to get used to and start with, but once you click with it, then it feels really nice using the Force and all your abilities, and it's a good progression of abilities as well. Like you kind of doesn't feel like they give you everything all at once. You kind of definitely earn everything, and when you get it, it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
But yes, I would highly recommend that game to anyone who hasn't played it before, including yourself. We've obviously been playing Back 4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood.
Quite enjoying for the past month or so. Doing a little, if you want to shoot a few zombies, kind of forget about the world and just shoot zombies and have all these random attachments and perks. Then yes, it's a good one. Quite enjoying it. I can't see like me maining the game or anything like that, but it's definitely a good one to play co-op with your buddies.
Oh yeah, it's definitely fun. It's a good switch your brain off.
Yeah,
just shoot things for fun, kind of thing.
Nothing will compete with Left 4 Dead, but I mean it's quite a good kind of modern day take on it. Kind of.
I mean, I enjoy it. I like it for what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Killing zombies.
It's just a fun game that we can play together. Just what we want.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Discord is coming to PlayStation finally in March. I think they've announced, or one of them has announced it. I don't know if it's fully confirmed, but it's looking like it. Coming with the next system software.
Yeah.
And the beta is apparently going on as we speak for it.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, but yeah, I'd be happy about Discord being there. I think it's been so long that everyone's just kind of already made other arrangements and just completely forgotten about it. But it'd be nice when it's finally on there.
It'd be nice because, like, especially I can only speak on behalf of myself, but I know like when you and Robin are obviously on there playing together. Like, say I'm editing or I'm doing something on here, I can just join you on Discord, and then I can still chat with you guys while you're playing the game and whatnot. So it'll be a little bit easier.
Still technically possible to do that on your phone on the. But it's like
it's more convenient, I guess. Convenience and ease, and I think Discord is probably an easier system than fucking Sony's god awful PlayStation system of join a party. You already have a conversation with this person. Are you sure you want to make another one? Do you want to add someone to it? Oh my god, you got a conversation. We're going.
I don't know why they changed it.
They're fucking so complicated. It's just like, do you know what? Can I just press a button and it works? Like, why can everyone else do it?
It's not one for having consumer-friendly
systems.
Things work in the end, but you have to go through a big loops to get
that. Yeah, you have to go through a few loops before you get that.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Yeah, what games have you been playing?
Well, I obviously finished Ghost of Tsushima finally. Finished it, platinumed it, so I've just got to do Iki Island. I'm still want to play some more Legends mode as well. I enjoyed that. We obviously tried that. That was a lot of fun to play through. So, yeah.
Another kind of bite-sized chunk of game which you can just play with your friends and switch off a bit.
Exactly.
And it's nice to have the stealth aspect of it as well.
Yes.
Everyone's been craving a stealth co-op kind of game, but. This doesn't quite scratch the itch, but it is a good one.
It's close. I mean, to be fair, it's a fantastic game. I think, I personally, myself, I would give it like a 7 out of 10, just because, despite it being so good, it's still essentially just an open world game that you go off and do the same shit everywhere. But it's just, it's not as big, so I appreciate that.
But, it's just like it's still kind of fluid in the way it does it. People kind of forget that fact.
Sometimes, and it's done in a very, very good way as well. Like the 3 sections of the map, so you can just do section by section.
And taking you there, it's like it feels authentic to that world.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like your average Ubisoft.
Ubisoft
a waypoint on the map.
Fucking dead world. Yeah, it actually feels like a functioning world that makes sense to go off and do stuff. And some of the I'll be honest, some of the side stories I did get kind of bored by the end of it, so I was kind of like, ugh. Yeah. But, I mean, the main story itself was fantastic, and it was a very sad ending, and I'm looking forward to the film they're making for it, unless they fuck it up like they did Uncharted. So, we'll see, I guess.
Oh dear, well, maybe they turned a corner with that with The Last of Us.
Yeah.
We'll hope.
I hope so, because it was a fantastic story, and it'd be awesome to see it on the big screen.
I'm pretty sure there was a Division film coming out at some point. What happened to that?
I think that got cancelled. I think a lot of stuff has happened recently with Division and Ubisoft that obviously we'll chat about in a
And
moment.
Heartland, where the hell is that?
Oh, we're going to chat about it all. It'll be a good time.
What is happening with Division?
Yeah.
That's it.
Shameful trophy that I got. Episode out on it if you want to go watch it. Ta-da. Yeah, I platinumed My Name is Mayo 3. I know!
My name is Mayo, you cheat.
I can't. Shame. I can't help it, man. I love the first two and the third one. Do you know what? They actually talked about death and grief and how to deal with it, and I appreciate that from the developers. So, it was very good. I've never been more emotionally attached to Mayo in my life. I finished Silent Hill 3 as well. That was fun. I can't remember if we talked about that or not, but yeah, I finished that. Managed to get through the end. Probably the weakest one that I've played so far. Although 4, now that I'm playing through 4, oh no, that's close.
Worth it to go on.
That's pretty close. I don't hate 4, but there's definitely some parts about it that I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay, sure. I mean, I like the fact they've tried to change it up a bit, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the end. And then I platinumed Saw the Game, which was an easy platinum. It's not hard to do, but fun to go back and play that on the PS3.
Yeah.
It was a good one. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I quite enjoyed watching some of that.
Yeah. Don't worry, Lost is coming
nice.
soon.
I know. I say it reminded me of Lost because it's like similar kind of
Yeah.
game based off movie series.
Lost is coming soon. I'll be platinuming that. So that'll be all on stream. That'll be all on stream. So that should be interesting. But yeah. Should we talk about Ubisoft quickly and how fucking they're burning their company to the ground because Yves Guillemot's a fucking moron?
Something about the CEO blaming the staff.
He basically said, "I need you to pull together and put all your effort in." How about this, Yves? You fuck off and get someone else in charge who knows what they're doing because you're a fucking moron. Like, 7 games in the last 4 months have been cancelled. 6 of them weren't even published. Like, nobody knew anything about them. Heartland, that's fucking gone. We don't know what the hell's happening with that. Skull and Bones has to be made because Singapore's government has fucking funded it. So they have to make that game. So that's just
to make it.
That's eating all of their funds. Far Cry sucks now. Fucking Assassin's Creed's a joke. Mirage probably won't be anything better. I don't know. I'm so sad.
The CEO that was kind of like accused of like
being a dick.
Being a dick in general. Then he kind of retired, but then he's wangled his way back in again because he's like using his cards.
It's a family-owned company. That's the problem.
The
Yeah, they're keeping everyone in the family. That's why it's so shit. So they're mating with each other, and it's become a fucking mutated mess. Gone are the days of Ubisoft being good and innovative and fucking trying new things. Like, I hope Mirage, the next Assassin's Creed game, is good. I hope they do something different with Far Cry instead of just the same shit. And I hope to God that Skull and Bones will eventually be released. But I gotta be honest, I wouldn't cry tomorrow if Ubisoft just crashed and burned and just died. Because it is a joke at this point how fucking awful they are as a company.
It just seems like nothing with the original comes out of it anymore.
It's so
But
stupid.
There's a Star Wars game coming out for them.
It's
an Avatar one.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for the Star Wars one. I hope to God they pull it off because an open world Star Wars game would be fucking awesome if done right.
An Avatar as well.
An Avatar, yeah, that looks better than the last Avatar game, which is not saying much. But I mean, we'll see. Oh, maybe that's one I'll be platinuming soon as well. Who knows? Fucking Avatar's the old game. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It feels like Ubisoft.
If they could nail it, then it would be absolutely like amazing.
Yeah. I think
open world game.
the problem with Ubisoft is they hit that formula with Far Cry 3 and they haven't fucking changed since. And because of that, they are now burning their company to the ground by failing all these other projects. Like Splinter Cell was cancelled. Prince of Persia, fuck knows where that is. They cancelled all the pre-orders and refunded people and then just didn't talk about it. Like I say, Heartland, fuck knows. The X format or X something was like the Rainbow Six Battle Royale thing. That fucking disappeared. No one knows anything about that. It's just, I don't know. It feels like Ubisoft has now completely burnt out by spending so much money on so many different things that are all shit. And now, Yeah, no, they've just crumbled. They haven't got anything. Like their stock has tanked, the lowest it's ever been since 2016. They're losing money on a daily basis now. They're talking about cutting jobs and stuff, and it's like, how about you stop leading it into a... You know when there's a fire, Yves? Listen to this, Yves. You might learn something. When there's a fire, you don't just fucking walk into it. Do something to put the fire out first and then carry on. Don't just turn to your employees and be like, it's your fault, you need to try harder. Fuck off.
It's like they've probably been blindsided for so long that they're not listening to anyone.
It's just, I don't know.
They keep on going on that wrong way because they don't want to be proven to be wrong.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Ubisoft used to be a fucking amazing company, man. Far Cry 3, when that came out, was brilliant. Blood Dragon was really good. The old Assassin's Creed. The Ezio Collection, perfect example. Brotherhood, Revelations, and AC2, fantastic games. And it's like, they've just fucking got rid of it. I mean, Origins was, in my opinion, a fucking great way to change up the Assassin's Creed series. It was too fucking big.
Yeah.
And then Odyssey was bigger, and then Valhalla can fuck off. And like, it's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know, if, as I've said before, it's quality is better than quantity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a better experience if it's a quality experience rather than, hey, here's 140 hours of the same repetitive shit over and over. Have fun. And this is why I'm hopeful. Like, they've shrunk Mirage now, like the new... I think it's called Mirage anyway, the new Assassin's Creed game. They've made that smaller, apparently, so... Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't care.
We've already got Ghost of Tsushima. Why would we need this?
I know, exactly. And it's like, I hope they're going back to the formula they had with AC. Because as much as I enjoyed the way that they changed it into like an RPG kind of thing, it was done very lazily, very fucking poorly, and they didn't innovate on it. They did what they did before, which was, oh, we found a new thing that's popular, let's just blast out 2 more in 2 years just to see if it works. And it's like, you fucking idiots. You're stupid.
Same game but different time periods.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty, just different coat of paint. So, and that's the problem that all games and are having now, I think, is like there's very few games that will go off the beaten path to try and do something different.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's obviously Forspoken is coming out like next week or something. Or
yeah, the specs came out for that, didn't they? For PC, and dear God, that game is badly optimised if that's what you need to run it.
I think EA's going down the same kind of hole that Ubisoft are.
EA have been doing that for years, mate. Don't you remember when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out? Like, loot box galore. But
yeah, well, that was the least of their issues.
Yeah, I mean, oh Christ. I think this is the problem. All the big companies now that were good, you know, Activision, Blizzard, EA, Ubisoft, they've become too big. All they care about is profit. And now we're going to start seeing them all crumble because they can't make enough money anymore.
It's like less competition because like all the big wigs will always stay the big wigs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems like all the quality is going downhill. And Forspoken, it's just demo came out. I did play that. It just didn't really capture me in any way. It's
a
like,
showpiece.
the trailers and stuff look cool, but
to me, I've not played the demo for Forspoken yet. I want to, and I'm sure it'll be a fun game. But to me, it just looks like a pretty showpiece.
Yeah,
it doesn't exactly look like I don't know. It feels like it's going to just be another open world. It's the fucking same thing. Go here, do this thing. Go here, do this thing. I don't know. I want something fucking different, man. I want something that gives a shit. Like
it's what that era of Final Fantasy issue with Square Enix.
Oh god, Square Enix, another fucking company. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think is Square Enix do Forspoken or is that EA?
I think they're part of it, but I don't think they've actually made it. It might be Square Enix. Yeah. Do you know what?
Getting these wrong now.
Let's do this research.
I think I was wrong.
Hey, if you at least you can own it. Yeah, it was Square Enix. Square Enix are doing Forspoken.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
Similar thing with them though.
Yeah, Square Enix have got the same problem. They're just I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for re-releasing and re-updating old games to bring them to new. I'm all for that. Brilliant. Guess what? Stop charging me £70 fucking for the games then, because it doesn't take you as long. And I get like full remakes, more than happy to pay. I'm more than happy to pay £70 for that. It's like a full new game. I'm okay with this. But if it's a remaster, fuck off. I'm not paying that full price. And that's all companies are doing now. It's because they've run out of ideas. They don't want to take risks. Dead Space is coming out now, the remake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm hyped for it, and I love that game, but especially after the Callisto Protocol. But isn't that part of the problem that we now have? Is now we're going into this era of what it feels like nostalgia, right? Companies are now losing money, so how do they make it? Bring back an old game that people loved. We don't even have to try. It's all there. And I feel like that's the way this is going, and I just don't see... This is why I try to get indie games where I go back and play old games, because it's like at least they were fucking trying to do something different. Saw the game is absolute garbage, but you know what? At least they fucking tried to do something different.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
And it's kind of exciting at the time.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's just one of those things.
It has been a trend, that nostalgia, over the past, like, 2 films and games, I think.
Yeah.
People, they're trying to release the remasters and release prequels and sequels and all this. But, I mean, how long can you go on with the nostalgia?
Exactly. And the thing is, I think they're starting to crumble with that as well. I mean, you look at The Last of Us, don't get me wrong, that remaster, or the remake, sorry, looks incredibly beautiful. Was it necessary? No. We just, like, a couple of years back had a remaster for PS4.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary, but hey, easy money, right?
Was it made to kind of get some sales of the series as well?
It's Sony, of course it was. it's Sony. Like, and Sony are one of the worst fuckers for this. Like, they just re-release, and I mean, no one's worse than Bethesda. Fucking Skyrim comes out every year on something new. Hey, this year you can play it on a teacup. Pay £20. Like, they'll find a way. So
you can play it on your garage.
But isn't that part
you can play it on that tree over there.
I guess the moral deep question is, isn't that part of the problem with the gaming now, though? Like, part of gaming is to get lost in something new, something that's not possible in real life, something to take you out, to distract yourself, to give you a bit of entertainment and joy and happiness while playing a game, like playing a game with a friend or something, you know? That's kind of what they're meant to be, and it feels like more of a job to play a lot of games these days more than fun.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of like creative positions are probably just not being filled, and the whole thing about being creative, it just doesn't pay very well. So why would people choose to do it?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, I appreciate
relying on old material.
And I think I appreciate stuff like the Callisto Protocol, because obviously that was a guy who made a very successful series with EA in Dead Space, left to do his own thing, and now is trying to create his own project that he wanted to create. And I appreciate people doing that. Yeah. But I think people now expect too much.
Yeah. And then you get the whole kind of toxic fandom of like all the gamers kind of getting behind something and hating on it.
What, the fucking 10-year-olds that think they know what they're talking about? Yeah. Those idiots.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just the gaming community gets a fucking bad rap. Community. But I mean, we're illiterate. We can't speak. But I think it's it's the same with any community, isn't it? It's always the most vocal that are the biggest obnoxious bastards. Yeah. And they tend to be the smallest amount of people as well. But I think the thing with gaming, and I hope it happens soon, is just some fucking care or initiative or change in how they do things. Like, hey, instead of releasing a COD every year, release one every 3 years. Really put that time and effort. Make it look fucking good. And then release
it. Make people want it again.
Yeah, make people give a shit. Innovate. Again, right? You've got the cool cutscenes and the stories and stuff. Great. Innovate. Do something different. Stop expecting people to spend nearly £100 every fucking year to get your fucking top edition when you've barely done anything to change it. If anything, it's got worse. You know. Yeah,
same with Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Another perfect example. Great game, and I appreciate the expansions aren't always full price. But if you want everything in the expansion, you're paying upwards of like 70 quid, 80 quid. Yeah. And it's like, put some more effort in.
And they don't even give you the option to kind of like in the game to buy the regular edition. It's just get the deluxe.
Yeah, it's because obviously they want to push for more money, and I get it. It's a live service; they have to keep the service going and updating it. It's slightly different. I get that, but it's the same problem. Destiny 2 has now been going for fucking years, and when are you going to call it quits? You've removed half of the fucking stuff because you couldn't fit it all into the game.
in some ways it's even worse than a Call of Duty because they're removing things that you paid for in previous things. So you can't just go back and play it.
I think they have. I think apparently there is like a way you can now, but you still have to uninstall other stuff to then install that stuff. It's like, do it in a way that makes sense, you know? Like, and again, when it comes to stuff like Ubisoft and watching how they are now just falling apart and crumbling, I think what's sad for me is that I love these series. I love these games. They were a huge part of my childhood. They bring me endless joy and entertainment when I play them. But they have lost their way. And I think it just makes me sad to see that that's how gaming has gone.
But there's always the hope that they may find their way back, which is something you gotta hold on.
What's the moral of the story, James? Is there like a happy ending? Are they going to find their way? Fuck no. These companies don't care about anything than the money. That's why we, the people that play the games and pay for them, need to start showing with our wallets that we actually care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a bit of responsibility on the consumer as well.
If you just keep buying,
letting them get away with it all the time.
If you just keep fucking buying the games, they're gonna keep fucking making them. This is coming from me, the guy that used to spend hundreds of pounds on games every month pre-ordering them. Then Saints Row happened, and I gave up. So yeah, just. I don't know. Food for thought.
Nothing like Saints Row to teach you the life lesson.
Fuck that lesson. That game definitely taught me a lesson. But yeah, just I don't know. I want something positive to come out of gaming, man, this year, and it feels like a lot of it is going to be negative. Like a lot of companies are going to fall, a lot of fucking problems are going to happen, more abuse stuff is going to happen in the industry. It's like, please, can we just stop this?
It's all already happening.
It's like, please, can this fucking just stop? Like, can we stop being human again? When did
Sandra, the secretary, is already being rogered in the office as we speak.
Oh God, I hope not. But yeah. That's my little rant over. It's been a while since I've had a rant, so I thought, you know what, I'll go for this.
Well, I think on that bombshell, I think we're just about almost wrapped up. Unless you've got any more.
Unless have we got any interesting things? Let's have a look. Oh,
I think we just
yeah. I've got one. Why is streaming faster than DVD and Blu-rays? Something we discovered very recently, which is really weird. So yeah,
ease, time, money, easy to rip it from America.
There we go. There we go. It's all there.
Yeah.
Funny thing that we started to learn recently is when we tried to watch Fringe, and Sean was watching his Blu-rays. It's like
and you were ahead on it almost every single aspect.
Every minute,
they cut things out and they shorten things to make it appropriate length.
Yeah. So I actually did a bit of research on this. Now, apparently, it's because we just talked about it. Then it's the American versions, so the NTSC versions, which basically means that you have higher frames and sort of less filler, I guess, like the moments they have cuts. So there's some weird cuts in Fringe that happen on Now TV, which you're like, well, that was jarring. But it's because they're trying to shorten it for time and stuff. It's very odd, but it was an interesting... Because it's not like anything was changing when we were watching it. It was the same parts, and then I'd be like a minute ahead, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah. What's this?
There was like one episode where it felt like there was so they cut something out. It was like alternate worlds kid episode, I think.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and watch that one just to make sure that they haven't cut anything. But yeah, it's interesting. And when we're watching... the young ones on BBC or something, and they cut loads of stuff out of that.
That annoyed me.
And that's not American or anything. That's just BBC cutting things out.
It's very odd.
It's not woke enough.
But there you go. There's a little test for you to do at home. That's your homework for this week. Is take a DVD or Blu-ray, take the on-demand version.
DVD.
The extended DVD. Take the Blu-ray DVD, watch that, and put it on demand as well and see the difference, because it will be different. But yeah,
I suppose I've never really done it before because I've never watched anything on a Blu-ray and then someone else watching it on stream. So it's probably the same with Lost and like all of those, but we never noticed it because we're watching it on the same platform.
Yes, although I have.
Well, interesting one.
I have all the Blu-rays I've lost, but one of my discs was scratched. So
scratched.
It was very sad.
Scratch it back.
Scratch it back. Yeah.
Flip it back over.
Have you got anything for interesting things?
I think we covered. I think the whole thing was interesting.
It was a long rant. But yeah, all right. Well, if that's it, I guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We hope.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast, as we always do.
Filming. You enjoyed us dumping our loads on you.
Don't know if that's legal, is it?
Depends how old they are.
Oh no! No! If you're not 18, don't be watching. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we hope you all enjoyed watching. Thank you again for watching, guys. If you did enjoy it, remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Of course, if you ever want us to talk about any ideas, you can chuck it in my Discord, or you can throw it in the comments.
Suggestions.
Jeff, chuck we need some fucking suggestions. We're running out. Just fucking give us something, alright? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun to make it. I hope you had a good time, Sean. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely, yes. It's always a fun time.
It's always a fun time.
Release the demon inside.
Ooh. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.